the career pathways within BC Emergency Health Services. So today I'm joined by my colleague Brianna from Work BC Centre West Shore and Souk, and from BC Emergency Health Services, Nina is here today to present.
Thank you.
Perfect. So just to start off today, we're just going to go over our brief territory acknowledgement, first things first. So Work BC Centre West Shore and Souk recognizes the traditional territories of the Esquimalt, Songhees, Sauk, Sianu, and Pachidot First Nations on which our offices are located. And we're very proud to provide employment-related services to these nations. A brief look at our agenda today. We're just going to start with a short presentation on Work BC Employment Services before we hand it over to Nina for the bulk of our presentation today on career pathways within BCEHS. And lastly, at the end of the session, we'll open the floor to any questions and comments. That being said, please feel free to raise your hand throughout the presentation or to leave a question in the chat. And if we don't get to it right away, we will by the end. Amazing. So we'll dive right in to Work BC Centre West Shore and Souk Employment Services. Work BC Employment Services are free and available to all unemployed British Columbians who are seeking employment and are legally eligible to work in BC. There are some exceptions to this where employed individuals may also be eligible, such as those who are at risk of losing their current job or underemployed British Columbians with a disability. Work BC centres are located all across British Columbia. The amazing thing about this is if you do register with one of our centers for your services and you happen to move somewhere within the province, it is possible to have your case transferred and for you to continue those supports after you move. Work BC offers a range of services that support job seekers to both improve employment readiness, but also to find and maintain employment. Additionally, any BC job seeker can access the self-serve resource centers of Work BC Employment Services Centers. This is just a brief look at our website here. So if you look to find us here, you'll know you're in the right spot. Please feel free to navigate here after the session if you're curious in more detail about our services beyond what we've spoken on. So diving in for a little bit more detail, our resource center, as mentioned, is open to all job seekers. So you're able to come in, use computers for your job search needs, access a printer or a photocopier for yourself, so that you're able to print your job search documents. And during this time, staff members are available to assist you if you have any questions or need assistance. And these services can be provided both on a drop-in and an appointment basis. Our workshops are another area of our services that are an amazing support to job seekers. They cover all aspects of job search and job retention to ensure that you're able to achieve your goals, including topics like resume building, career planning, interview skills, the hidden job market, as well as our mature workers workshop. Diving into even more detail, we also have skills identification, effective communication, financial literacy, a workshop on transferable skills, as well as interpersonal and conflict skills. So a lot of overarching topics to help you be successful in your job search. Our wage subsidy program is another amazing support available to both job seekers and employers. And essentially it's designed to assist unemployed individuals or underemployed individuals to enhance their skills on the job. Wage subsidy assists the employer when hiring someone who lacks all the necessary skills for a position by offering a percentage of your wages for a duration of up to 24 weeks. And this allows job seekers to move into positions that are enhancing their career while also supporting the employer in doing so and in training them. Personal employment planning is an essential resource that we provide, and this is where you access individualized sessions with an employment advisor to help build your return to work action plan and to help you define your individualized path to success. Beyond these resources, we also have job start support, which is where work clothing such as boots or scrubs, tools, and short courses such as food safe and first aid can be made available to those who are unable to afford it. And past achieving employment, Work BC centers also offer sustainment services that will help you resolve issues impacting your ability to maintain employment. And this is where we can provide on-the-job or in-office support with your from our experienced job coaches who can help you either mediate disputes with your employer, learn new procedures, or gain insight into today's workplace culture. Last but certainly not least of our services is our job listings and labor market info newsletter. As a registered client of the West Shore and Sauk Work BC centers, you can receive this newsletter Job Links, which features a list of job leads locally. It covers employment information, as well as information on employment events and programs. And if you'd like to learn about any of the services that programs or services that we've talked about here, please visit our website listed below, or you can reach out to us. In terms of registering for these services, it's important to understand which services fall under which area. So employment services are for those clients who are seeking case-managed employment services, otherwise known as working with an employment advisor to guide your job search. Our self-serve services are for those clients who are seeking independent job search resources, such as our computers, our job boards, and our printers. Apprentice services are for those looking for financial supports while attending apprenticeship training. And assistive technology services and supports are for existing or imminent employment. In order to register for these services, there's 4 key steps. You're going to begin with contacting a local Work BC center. This can be done virtually or in person. You're going to log in or register by creating a BCE ID. And then you'll be going through eligibility screening, most of which is listed below here. And once you've gone through this eligibility and completed the applications, as well as uploading any necessary documentation, a Work BC representative will contact you within 1 to 2 business days. Lastly, just to highlight one of our other upcoming events here, next week on Wednesday, in a very identical format to this, we will be hosting an Exploring Careers in the Trades virtual information session for young adults. So this will be an excellent opportunity to also learn about career opportunities within the trades, specifically within construction, and you'll be able to learn about additional programs that are available to support you in accessing the career path. Lastly, this is our contact information for both our West Shore and our Sauk Center. You are able to come into whichever you choose, and we'd love to see you either in person or you can contact us by email or phone. Thank you so much. If anyone doesn't have any questions, I will hand it over to Nina, but if you do think of something later on in the session, please don't hesitate to put it in the chat and we will get to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. My name is Nina. I work with BC Ambulance. I'm with the proactive recruitment team here on Vancouver Island. I'm also joined by my coworker, Galen, who will help support if I have to leave at 2. I just didn't want to cut it short if there's lots of questions. So Galen is here joining us to help out. So I will share my screen, I think. And we'll get going. How's that?
Amazing.
Amazing. I'm just going to turn off my video while I'm doing this so I don't have to stare at myself. Perfect. So, career pathways with BC Ambulance. Who are we? So, BC Emergency Health Services, we often refer to as BCEHS, provides pre-hospital emergency services and interfacility patient transfers throughout the province of BC. We've done a land acknowledgement, so I will just pop over this. We always love to start off in a good way. So some facts about BCEHS. We were formed back in 1974. We are the largest ambulance service in North America. We cover the entire province of British Columbia with 183 ambulance stations, 7 air bases, 5 contracted marine vessels, and I believe it's closer to 6,000 employees now, and 3 dispatch centers. Let's see if this video works.
Every day I come to work, it's something different. You have to be up for adventure because you never know what your day is going to bring, where you're going to be, what kind of patients you're going to see. You got to be compassionate. You have to be level-headed. You have to be able to work well under pressure.
There's a certain draw to being able to help people and go up in their most desperate moments, knowing that I've given the best possible chance for this patient and their family.
The world of paramedicine is so different from a nurse and a doctor, people who work in facility, because we're actually going into people's homes.
You have to be prepared to accept anybody and everybody, their beauty and diversity of a human being.
know, when you show up on somebody's worst day ever and they're looking at you for help, I am very proud to be that person.
I mean, deep down, I think it's wanting to help people and doing a job that not everybody can do.
This is a career that you just don't come into and stay one position.
There's opportunities for growth to provide better care to our patients. The role is being there and being a person of comfort to help people through those stressful positions. And yes, you learn some mad skills and you get to use those, but more often than not, you're there to provide that compassionate care and help people through that emergency that they're having at that time.
Being a paramedic, it's not just a job, it is a lifestyle. This career has given me the chance to explore BC.
We come home, we go for a bike ride, we're able to debrief and de-stress. That work hard, play hard, really helps us keep that resilience up with our service, keeps us coming back every day.
The patient is only seeing, oh, there's 2 paramedics that have shown up here. But behind the scenes, you have call takers, dispatchers, fleet management, unit chiefs, community care paramedics, critical care paramedics, advanced life support.
I feel a sense of pride. I feel a sense of being a part of something, that link in that chain and saving people's lives.
Whether you live in a big city in BC or in the furthest reaches of the province, when an ambulance arrives, it's the same ambulance with the red stripe on the side, with paramedics in the same uniform, and we're all part of the same team.
Really gratifying to be able to take control of the scene, and that's ability to be able to say to those people, like, you know, I've got you, I've got the ambulance on the way. This is why I signed up.
People don't remember all the things that you did to them, but they remember if you were a good human being and if you made their journey better.
Awesome. So these QR codes probably don't work because we're not in person, but I will share links. So the Knowledge Network did a program on our services that's available on YouTube. It's called Paramedics Life on the Line. It's a really good show for anyone considering a career with us, whether that's in dispatch or on the street. Take a look, and then it kind of shows the progression of calls and what type of calls we deal with. Here's just a brief overview of our entry-level positions up to our high-level positions. So our entry-level position is an EMR, emergency medical responder. Most of our paramedics sit at a PCP, so that's a primary care paramedic. And then we have ICAs, Indigenous Cultural Advisors, CPs, community paramedics, advanced care paramedics, paramedic specialists, and then critical care paramedics and ITT, which is infant transport team. So you can come in at like an entry level, and then you can work your way up if you want to, or some people prefer to just stay at whatever license level. And then our 3 dispatch centers are Kamloops, Victoria, and Vancouver. And these are the definitions of the different spots that they have there. So emergency medical call taker, emergency medical dispatcher, PTCC, patient transfer coordination center, and Anyway, English is apparently not my language. IEMCT, interfacility medical call takers. So lots of variety. And this goes into call taking. So as an emergency medical call taker, you receive inbound 911 calls, gather critical information from the caller, and use approved protocols and systems to access the patients. And during the call, you may be required to deliver life-saving instructions such as CPR or childbirth. So prerequisites are to have a valid CPR with level C, standard first aid or higher, grade 12 diploma, ability to type 40 words per minute, be 19 years of age, be medically fit, and complete a criminal record check, legally eligible to work in Canada, and able to do shift work. That's 12 hours, days and nights. So for EMD, we prioritize and dispatch 911 calls for basic and advanced life support, ambulance, as well as communicating with other responder agencies. So EMDs provide vital information to paramedic crews and hospitals and work closely with other EMDs and EMCTs to ensure the best patient care possible. So that's patient transfer coordination system, that's interfacilities. So they're responsible for dispatching air ambulances responses throughout the province. This includes rotary and fixed wings, interfacility transfers, and scene responses. Those are the three centers I mentioned. So Vancouver, Kamloops, Victoria. Victoria is in the West Shore. Interfacility medical call taker, excuse me. That's based out of Vancouver. They work with the healthcare facilities to coordinate interfacility transfers patients across the province to either a higher or lower level of care based on the patient's needs and acuity. So those prerequisites are grade 12, medical terminology, graduation from a nursing unit clerk or MOA program, 1 year recent related experience or equivalent combination of education and training or experience. Logistics. There's a few logistics centers here on Vancouver Island, Victoria, and Parksville, and these are folks that do our deep cleaning and restocking. So they keep the paramedics ready to respond in all areas of the province, ensuring ambulances and other vehicles have fully functioning equipment and are stocked for the emergencies. So any of our jobs that are outside of the emergency side, so not dispatch and not paramedicine, all of those jobs sit with Provincial Health Services Authority. So admin, fleet, billing, quality, data analyst, business analyst, those all sit with PHSA. And I can send those links around to the ladies for after if anyone is interested. So paramedic, so entry-level positions for paramedics are what we call the EMR. That's for rural and remote. The course is 2 to 4 weeks, external and licensed to administer basic life-saving emergency medical. And intertransfer suite, we have quite a few postings. These change, so this is actually old information, but there's always different postings being put on our website. So Vancouver Island has 5 full-time units, Lower Mainland has 30, and the interior has 4. And these positions are intended to be filled by the licensed EMRs. So EMR in high school is a wonderful program that one of our colleagues, Deb Roberts, has been instrumental in putting EMR in schools around the province with a main focus on rural and remote. And this allows students to take it as an elective in either 11 or 12, and then they graduate with that EMR ticket. And EMR is not a BC ambulance ticket, it's an industry ticket. So you can work for hydro or mining or in all different areas. It's a really good ticket to have. So primary care paramedic PCP, like I said, most paramedics are sitting at that license level. With that license, you can work in most areas of the province. And that course duration is 8 months full-time, 18 months part-time external, licensed to administer more advanced patient care, including IV therapy and life-saving drugs. And like I said, the most of our paramedics sit at the PCP rate. Indigenous Cultural Advisor, it's a wonderful team right there. And they facilitate and coordinate equitable access to healthcare for Indigenous peoples and communities, creating cultural safety awareness for all BCEHS staff. It's a wonderful, wonderful job. Community paramedicine. That course is 14 weeks internal. So if you're licensed at a PCP IV level, you can go into this program, and then you provide non-emergency scheduled care to patients as part of an integrated health team. And I think there's like a percentage that you have to maybe answer a 911 call, but for the most part, it's daytime work and pre-scheduled. Then there's advanced care paramedic. And that course is 18 months external. You specialize in advanced care of medical trauma patients with a more specialized focus on advanced cardiac and respiratory resuscitations. Pretty heavy schooling at this point. There is some educational assistance available, so you can look up and see if you can qualify for any of the bursaries through either Columbia or the Justice Institute. When we get more information about the bursaries, we can send that along as well. But those are the main 2 schools that offer the bursaries. And there's Kylo. He's one of our service dogs. He's just in there he's pretty. And paramedic specialist. So that course is 16 weeks internal. It's an advanced care, critical care paramedics who provide on-scene technical support for high-risk situations, mass complex patient events, as well as telephone support to paramedics throughout the province. And critical care paramedics, those guys are in the helicopter. So that course duration is 18 months internal. It's the highest level of specialized care with a focus on acute interfacility care, transport, air, medical response, infant and child, and perinatal care. Very specialized team. They work out of Women's and Children's in Vancouver. That's a great shot. This is teeny weeny for anyone trying to look at this. It's just a really, it's an overview of license levels. So licensing within those areas, it just gives different scopes of practice, medications and things that you get. And here is just a colorful infographic of some of how our responders get the call. Interagency teamwork. We work really well with other community support. So here's search and rescue boat out of Vancouver. So all the other careers, specialty teams, preceptors, instructors, clinical operations managers, practice educators, supervisors. So lots of room for movement because we are a provincial program. There's some of our bike squad. And opportunity to work at various events. So like hockey games and concerts, police boat for the Symphony of Lights. So really specialized type of events where everyone else is scrambling to get tickets. We can go front row, which is kind of nice. Here's Taylor Swift. And there's one more video here.
BC ambulance. How many people are in here?
Calm down. What's the address we're coming to?
Is he breathing?
Is she violent? The ambulance is coming, but I'm going to tell you how to save his life.
Paramedics and dispatchers on the front line of emergency response. We bring the emergency, we bring it out to the street, we bring it into your living room. Where minutes, even seconds can make all the difference.
4 or 5 minutes. We're Kingsway. This is pretty urgent.
The bad news is that you're having a heart attack. He said his head broke through the window.
I need you to control the bleeding.
The ambulance is already driving towards you. Stay calm so we can help the baby.
Hey.
No. Do you want us to take you to the hospital? I know you're scared, but look at me. I'm gonna take good care of you. Oh, stop. Go back up. Hands to yourself, bud. Come on.
The emotional stress in general is very difficult to deal with. Paramedics, life on the line. Premieres Tuesday, April 2nd at 9, only on Knowledge.
It's fun driving fast with the lights and sirens on. Let's be honest.
So that's the program I discussed earlier that's available online. It's good. It's a good overview of like how calls go and what, how we process things. Sorry for all the QR codes when we do these virtually. It's not that user friendly. So critical incident stress. So the critical incident stress peer team is available to be contacted if you've had particularly difficult call or are dealing with a strong emotional reaction or stress. So trained paramedics and dispatchers will listen and provide support and offer additional resources in a fully confidential peer defusing situation. There's our contact pages. Like I said, I can add these into the chat and our application form. Here's our snapshot of the entry-level position. So a driver only position is a conditional hire. If you're hired as a driver only, you have 6 months to successfully complete and license as an EMR to come in, and then you work up from there. And those are entry-level rates of pay, and then it moves up from there because we are a union environment. So like it says, shift differentials, night shifts, short changes, all those things, that's all additional pay. And that's just going over like some of the prerequisites for applications. So most BCEHS paramedics are hired on as on-call or part-time employees. During the on-call shifts, employees are required to carry a pager, which they have the freedom to pursue other work and activities. And then when they're called out, their pay increases and they go call into the station. Second and third is wonderful opportunity for people who are actively in the process of being hired with us. You can come out and go out with paramedics on a ride along, or you can have arranged to double plug into dispatch. So you can sit in and see if you think it's going to be a good fit for you. I do recommend doing that. It's a good way to go. And that's just another QR code that's leading us to all the different teams and then questions. I will stop sharing my screen so I can see if there's any chats there I didn't see while I was sharing my screen.